Hi friends, I'd like to show you my Lowe's haul. They had these garlic, California garlic, $4.98 for 3 plants. So you get 3 bulbs, but each bulb has many cloves, so you can grow lots of garlic. These were 50% off because they were from the fall, I believe. Plant in fall, but I believe you can still stick it in the ground. And I checked the bulbs and they're still in good shape. They still have substance to them. They didn't shrivel up like the ones that I bought last time. They sat around too long and they shriveled up, so that was my fault. So these are half price, so $5 became $2.50 for each, and I'm gonna give one of each to my family, and they can grow some hopefully during the spring. And then Miracle Grow fruit and citrus plant food spikes. These weren't on sale, but I needed to put on my citrus plants and under my avocado trees. The year that we actually did this, we had lots and lots of fruit, and last year we didn't have hardly any avocados. We suspect that it was because of the wind blowing all the blossoms. But another thing is, the previous year in 2021 we had lots of avocados, so in 2022 it didn't have as many, and it could be that it used up all its nutrients, or it only produces every other year the fruit, or it only produces fruit every other year. So and the year before, that when it produced a lot of fruit, that's the year we put the citrus and fruit spikes. These are good for avocados and citrus fruits, and it looks like the cycads or the certain plants. So another thing we bought was, from Home Depot, my haul was some sheet moss, and it was around $5, and it wasn't too expensive because my sister has a lot of houseplants, and we're going to make some moss poles to grow the climbing plants. And I got some popover. They look so gorgeous, and ranunculus bulbs, and they'll be blooming, says, year after year. $5.98 for 3 plants, $5.98 for 12. And then I found seed potatoes, blue Adirondack, $4.98 for 2 purple potatoes. It's already starting to root, and I'm gonna give one of these to my mom because these are really sweet, delicious, and you want lots of those nutrients that make that purple color. And it's GMO free, and I know I've tried these before, and when you can get a hold of unique stuff like that, grab a hold of it, and you can keep having a bunch of those year after year. Hi friends, so I got myself another 3 small bags of leaves and a huge bag, so that makes it about 19 or 20 bags of leaves. And I'm gonna disperse them into the run, into the coop, and to smother weeds, and it'll slowly break down and make good soil. Hi friends, so I managed to collect more bags of leaves. I missed the batch where I got 8 bags of leaves. So here I have 4 small bags of leaves, and then this large bag that's equivalent to about 3 of the smaller bags, maybe 4, but so in total I have now collected 35 bags of leaves, some of which I put into on the ground on top as a mulch, and I placed some of the leaves in the chicken run. So let's take a look at how they help break it down a lot faster. So friends, if you just leave leaves just kind of on top of everything, it will take forever to break down. It just sits there, and it's the first thing to dry after a rain, and there's nothing trampling over it. It's not under the soil, so the worms aren't quite getting to them yet. They work their way from the bottom up, and you don't see earthworms lingering on the surface of things because they don't like to get, sunburnt. So it doesn't break down very easily when it's the top cover. Now let's take a look at the leaves that are in the chicken run. They were actually quite tall, and now, of course, with the help of rain, it's a little moist in here, but they have a nice layer of cooling leaves that are breaking down. So, and it's a nice thick layer. I had poured 2 large bags of leaves and probably 3 small bags of leaves in here, and as you can see, it used to be a lot lower, and then it's like over that metal portion of our chicken run frame, and they are trampling on it, pooping on it, kicking it around, and before you know it, this is about 3 weeks of these leaves being here. They are expedited, their degradation is expedited by the rain, the moisture, and then of course, like I said, the chickens kicking and stepping all over these. So I will keep you updated on how these leaves will turn out later. In addition to collecting free resources such as leaves, fallen leaves, or grass clippings, we also collect rainwater in as many vessels as we can. So this is a crazy year that we finally got quite a bit of rain, and so we've been collecting it as best as we can in every way. So we have filled our cisterns, and we have several troughs. So far this year, we've collected thousands of gallons. In total, we have about 4,000 gallons in the cisterns it's 3,000. In this large trough, it's 150 gallons in that one. And then we have several 100-gallon ones. And then we have some smaller rain barrels. And as you can see, the rainwater is quite clear. It's quite clean. There's a little bit of leaf debris in here, but it's really soft water. It doesn't have chlorine or fluoride or anything in it, and it's great for plants. And we tend to use it over time slowly to water the plants with, since we've been in a dire drought situation for several years. So even though it seems like we have a lot of water from these storms that we're having, we need continual water and snowpack to get the levels of water to what we need to use for everyone. So even though we have a little bit of water now, like what looks significant that it's causing flooding, it's because it's coming down too quickly, too much, too quickly, and too frequently. It needs to be dispersed out, and then that way it's usable. So that's what's causing the flooding. It looks like a lot of water, but really it's not. We would need like months and months of rain every other day or every day to make up for, I think it's the last 8 years of drought or so. A decade maybe. Next, I would like to show you some of the things that we're growing. So I probably did it too early, but I planted some dahlia bulbs, some lily bulbs, and some calla lily bulbs in here, and the dahlias are popping up. And I had it covered because it was too cold and too early to plant them. And I don't think they like too much water or the bulbs will rot. Next, I have here some shallots. Those are those tall green plants, and these are great because they're multipliers. So even though you plant one bulb, it will make 6 to 8 to 10 bulbs of shallots. And they're like the flavor is a cross between an onion and a garlic, a mild garlic. And then I recently saw in Lowe's they had some onion bulbs and garlic bulbs that were on clearance, 50% off. So I got some more to fill it in because I did have bulbs, but they didn't do too hot because I planted them rather late in the season and they just kind of were withered away. This bed surprisingly did not do well at all. It was recycled soil that I used, and the only thing that's growing well is the cilantro. I had some chive and onion seeds that I put in here, and it doesn't look like anything popped up. That looks to me like grass, weeds, which I need to pluck out before they get out of hand. That looks like borage because where I pulled the recycled soil from is where I had the borage growing. And I'm not sure what these are. They could be a weed or they could be something else. I don't quite remember what seeds they are, if they are, unless they're weeds. Next, this is my pride and joy. I am so happy. The things that I grew over around November, so these are I think it's leeks that I put the seeds in, and they actually popped up, whereas the other bed had just a bunch of weeds. And then I have some spinach, which this is the first time I grew spinach successfully. And then I have tatsoi, which is my favorite, and it's starting to do the thing that it does. It's like blooming, and I love that look. And you can just cut and come again, or you can pull up the whole thing, the whole head, and it's just going to get bigger than this. It's probably sewn too close together. Like that one is impinging on that one, but that's okay. As long as you keep cutting, it'll keep growing and provide you food. And here is some ruby red or red Swiss chard. So they look really good in this bed. I'm so glad. But of course this one had less recycled soil and more fresh soil from the bag that I got from Costco, an organic soil. And sown at around the same time and covered up and protected from any raccoons or pests coming in to dig. I have a ton more tatsoi. I made sure to grow a lot of it, and I gave some to my mom and sibling. I have more Swiss chard, but these are the rainbow Swiss chard. Some lettuce, which I thought would not grow. They weren't coming up. It was quite a cold winter, so a lot of these things took a long time to grow, but they finally popped up. The lettuce, the tatsoi are growing bigger, and some more tatsoi, some more red Swiss chard, some rainbow Swiss chard, covering it back up again. Over here, just before I grew the tatsoi seedlings, I grew some sweet peas, and they are popping up finally. How pretty is that? There are variations of purples and blue, and I have not gotten one snap pea yet, but it's nice to see them growing. Here are some more snap peas, and it's a different variety. It's not flowering yet, but it's got bigger leaves and it looks healthier. I covered the seeds with this cage, this rabbit cage or whatnot, so that the raccoon or possum or whatever it is that digs around didn't destroy the seedlings, because that's what they do. They dig up things and destroy my seedlings, and I end up with 0 plants or food. The garden looks a mess, but it's just everything's brown and not leafing out and not fruiting, but in a few months it's going to be filling in, and it's going to be really bushy and green and lush all over, and hopefully colorful, because I'm adding lots of flowers to the garden as well. So this is the area where I grew the borage, and it self-seeds quite easily. So here are all the little borage plants popping up, and I don't mind, because you can pull it up and feed it to the chickens, or you can eat the blossoms, which taste like cucumbers, or you could use it to decorate like a cake, or to put into a cube of ice to decorate the ice, and it attracts tons of honeybees. In addition to collecting rainwater and leaves, we also collect coffee grounds, because it's a great deodorizer. So if you have anything that is stinky, you just open up a package of coffee, ground coffee, and the scent of the coffee takes away from the scent of the whatever's stinking. And so also it makes great compost, so it's gonna compost down. It makes a great grit for earthworms and caterpillars, so they have to like push things out of their system, and they do use coffee grounds really well. And it almost mimics soil the way that it looks, but it can be a little hydrophobic, so it's better to spread it out. So later on I'm going to do a quick raking through of this to mix the coffee grounds with the leaves, and it'll make nice soil here. Things don't look too great at this time of year, but that's okay. I'm going to spruce it up in the spring. So right now it's just a matter of trying to keep some plants alive. I'm going to try to see if I can overwinter this eggplant. I have one eggplant here and a second eggplant here, and then I have pepper row, so it's kind of several peppers in that area. And then in there I had some transplanted tomatoes, some green onions, some Okinawan spinach, which those are great crops. They live all throughout the year, and they grow really well, and they're easy to propagate, and they're a good food source, a healthy food source. So I see some more popping up, and now my mint is invading that bed, but it's not too bad right now, but I got to get in there and get them out. So I have overwintered some of my chili pepper plants, so hopefully this year it'll make it, because this year was a lot colder than the last for a lot longer and a lot wetter. And then, how would you ever think that you could grow sunflowers year round in SoCal? But yes, so in late fall I threw a seed into the ground, a sunflower seed, and now it made me, and I had seen that a short little stalk came up of the stem and the leaves, and then now it's blooming. And this variety has several blooms. I'm not sure what the variety is, but I'm loving it. And if the wild birds don't get to it, hopefully the bees get something out of it. And then if the wild birds don't eat the seeds, I will give the seeds to my chickens.